The city of eThekwini is leasing 34 sites, and these include key beachfront spots like Minitown to revitalise problem properties and to boost tourism. So the city has identified 76 buildings. These buildings are derelict or either abandoned or hijacked. And we'll find out exactly what is on the menu with Newzroom Afrika's Phila, Duma, who's visited some of those buildings and joins us now. Phila, good morning to you. We were just having a little bit of a giggle before we came live to air about Minitown, which is just behind you. And I was sharing how as a child, Minitown was one of those sites you had to go and see. And it was quite an interesting setup they had there. And it's one of those places that have been earmarked as part of this revitalization project. So tell us what's in store. I certainly would love to see it come to life again.
Well, a very good morning to you indeed, Iman. I will tell you what, the city leadership as well as the Department of, Infrastructure here has been visiting some of the buildings which have been closed down telling us basically that they are going to be leased out. And the reason why this is being done, the city says that it is to actually revitalize the economic growth and to also, do away and try to get to the bottom of buildings which are occupied illegally, as we know that we had been told before that some of these buildings are actually seeing criminal activities being done within them. So I'm just going to get a quick reaction with regards to, the leasing of these buildings. I'm just going to bring in Iman, IFP chairperson in eThekwini, Mdu Nkosi. Sir, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for taking time to speak to us live here on Newzroom Afrika. I mean, the buildings are going to be leased out. What do you make of this? Do you think it's going to work?
Good morning to you and all your viewers. Well, I think it's important to say that officials and us as political leadership, we need to think aloud whereby we look into the area of South Beach. You know how important it is in terms of bringing visitors outside eThekwini and also people within eThekwini. So there are buildings that have been raised out because they are old. Some of them are not being occupied. So we need to think aloud on that one because we need to revitalize all these buildings, and we're looking forward to inject more when we are done with this project. There are so many of them that are of more important, like the Minitown, which has a lot of history behind it, and people who are coming from outside, they like to come here because there's Minitown schools, etc., etc. But what is important is that City and Minitown have agreed that their leases have expired. But what will then happen? They must take bookings until September next year. I think that's when they are going to kickstart to say, how then do we fund each other continuing going forward? Because it's important for us to think as well about those people who are intending to do business in this building. But more of important is that we need to see these buildings in a standard that will attract even people from international. Some of them have been redeveloped and they are very beautiful. So as IFP, we are happy about the initiative that has been taken.
So do you think it's happened at a perfect time? I mean, some of these buildings have been closed for quite some time. Are you not wondering why, this is happening now?
Well, there is no wondering why, because what is important for us is to push. Remember, as opposition, our main job is to ask questions. So if we keep on asking questions, then obvious things will happen, because we can't just sit down and fold our arms. Remember what the Premier is doing together with the General Nkosi. They are trying to ensure that they are assisting us in the city to clean the city in such a way that people must live with permit in eThekwini. So as eThekwini as well, we must also be seen trying to do our best that we intend to attract more visitors from outside the country and also within the country. So it's a matter of the officials having sure to make sure that they are doing their job every time and then. If you have a head of department, that head of department and his or her staff must sit down and say what will be the strategy that will work for us. For example, I'm a chairperson of trade and services. I was saying to line department, DSW must tell me that we are ready to receive the visitors in terms of cleanliness, water and sanitations. What is your plan? We don't want a situation whereby there will be no water during that time. Electricity, we want all this area to have light. We don't want a situation whereby we receive call that a certain area in a town or in a city stuck. So those are the things that we are busy with in the executive committee and also in different clusters.
And before I let you go, Mr. Nkosi, how do you view, the state of readiness here? Because I remember last week the MEC from ETIA actually launched the Tourism Month and said that the city, as well as the province as large, is ready to receive, visitors. Do you agree with that?
Those two governments, which is province and also the local government, need to talk to each other. If the province is ready, they know that in terms of their functions, they are ready. We dare not going to let down them in terms of their readiness. As a city, as I was telling you that in my cluster, I was saying to the heads, please tell me how ready we are. Are we prepared? So I do believe that working hand in hand with the province, we are ready to receive visitors. We are ready in terms of ensuring that there will be no criminal activities in the city. The chairperson of that cluster need to ensure. So all the chairpersons and their clusters need to ensure that we are really ready, because remember, we wanted to take back what eThekwini was, whereby everyone, even outside this country, wanted to come to eThekwini. So it's important for us to do.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We're going to have to leave it there because of time. That was the IFP's Mdu Nkosi basically speaking to us today, Iman, and just telling us that they are very confident about this particular move and that, they are hoping that greater rewards are going to be reaped from here. Back to you in studio.
It will be lovely to see a recovery in my hometown. Phila, thank you very much. Crossing to us live there from the Durban beachfront, where plans are afoot to reclaim